Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on this sunny Sunday for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had an amazing weekend. Today, we're going to be diving into Vechain. Things look exceptionally bullish for not only Vechain, but the crypto space as a whole. I'm going to be telling you why I believe you are going to see new all-time highs for Vechain in a short period of time. We updated you on our last video that we were heavily buying Vechain at 8 cents. Potentially are going to continue to do so because I honestly believe that you are going to see new all-time highs in a short period of time. I'm going to explain that to you in this video. We're also going to be taking a look at some news to come from Vechain's Twitter, where essentially they're very involved with the Chinese government. We've seen the Chinese government essentially come out and ban cryptocurrency activity, certainly public cryptocurrency activities, decentralized cryptocurrencies, because they want to implement their own centralized blockchains, and they are going to Vechain to help them to do this. This is exceptionally bullish for Vechain, as they essentially have a monopoly on the market over there as a result of this. So we'll get into all that in this video. Where I want to start, ladies and gents, is by taking a look at the price and giving you a bit of an update with what's happened. You guys know, like I say, we were very happy to accumulate Vechain at 8 cents. So to me, you know, it's an absolute steal considering that you were nearly at 30 cents a couple of months ago. So what's happened with Vechain, guys, is you've essentially broken out of this falling wedge structure, and you've done it exceptionally convincingly. This is a trait that has engulfed many of the altcoins. Can you see this? Very common pattern. This is a reversal sign. Now, many people out there are calling for another leg down, just due to the fact that we actually haven't made a higher high yet. So this was your previous high. You've obviously made your low here, but you've actually failed to make a new low. So you failed to make a new low, but you haven't made a new high. So the trend is kind of in limbo. But what this falling wedge structure actually is a trend reversal sign. So we are expecting a higher high and higher lows to come off the back end of this. I just want to make a quick remark. And when we went into this sell-off, not just for Vechain, but across the board, we made a very notable analysis that you were essentially doing what you had previously done. Certainly we looked at that for Bitcoin. We'll talk about Bitcoin in just a second because there's so many bullish structures. Those of you who follow me day in, day out will know that we're calling for many things on a macro level. We're calling for reverse head and shoulders for Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin the normal way up. This is it in reverse. We essentially think you've got a big target to the downside, to the upside for that. Sorry, we've got your cup and handle. The total 2 looks great. Everything looks great. The market conditions are primed, and Vechain is going to be a beneficiary of that. But back to what I was saying, guys, it is very remarkable, and it's the same for Bitcoin, it's the same for CARDANO, it's the same for many of the cryptos that we look at, just how similar these sell-offs really were. It just played out on a bigger scale. Can you see this, ladies and gentlemen? Can you see this? Just how similar these actually are. And essentially, you have now broken, and you are going to continue in that uptrend. This is what Vechain does, and we've made sure to remind you of that in pretty much every video that we put out. This is a we'll move on to the tweets and the kind of news in just a second, but this is our macro roadmap for Vechain, and it's playing out perfectly, guys. We told you when we entered this that you're just here, and you are going to see a correction after your first move. Common traits with your first move is you don't take out your previous all-time highs, whereas many other cryptos have. But that is coming. It is going to do that in the next move that it is embarking on. How do I know that? Well, we have structure from previous moves, previous waves that we've embarked on. I hope you guys are now coming to the realization that Elliott wave theory is absolutely at play without these cryptos and works as a tradable strategy if you know what you're looking at. Absolutely present, guys. This is a confirmation of the trend, which is upwards. The trend is an uptrending market. Potentially on the short term, you do enter some downtrend or some shorter term downtrends, but you always want to come out, zoom out of your charts, get out of those small time frames, look at it from a bigger picture, and you will see that the trend is clearly up. We are in a technology that is on an adoption path, and we're yet to see that adoption really take place. So if we look at these previous two sell-offs, your first move up doesn't quite take you to your all-time highs. First move up doesn't quite take you to your all-time highs. But your next move does, ladies and gentlemen. And that is exactly what I'm expecting. This move has followed it perfectly. What we can now do, now I believe that the ABC has finished in much the same way that you had your ABC here and your ABC here after your first move, is we can actually go ahead and put that into the charts now to keep it there for further analysis. So this is your A, B, and then your C waves down here, and you've broken out of it. now on your next leg. And if you look at the next leg here, guys, so after your ABC, you went above and beyond your all-time highs. After your ABC, you went above and beyond your all-time highs. So just from where we are today, going back to the all-time highs, let's take a look at that as a percentage. That's 150%. I'm taking that bet personally, or that trade, I should say. It's people that equate putting money into cryptocurrencies as an investment and gambling have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. Of course, there is an element of risk with everything, but with gambling and with investing is far, far more calculated. There are better odds if you know what you're looking at, and you have a more of a sway on things. So they're not the same thing in any way, shape or form. It really annoys me when people say you're gambling by investing in crypto. You're absolutely not. Let's take a look on the 4 hourly. Can you see? I mean, this is very convincing. After your ABC, you've now made your first leg. Can you see this? Very common trade. So your first leg out of this, you don't quite break your high from the trend. You do it in the second one, which is the same back here, guys. Can you see this? You don't quite break your high. You do in the second one, and then you go on to make new all-time highs. And this is exactly what we're expecting, ladies and gents. This is what it's looking like to me. Let's actually overlay that bar pattern to see if we've got much similarity there. We are going to get into the news in just a second. I just want to share this with you because I honestly believe you're going to see new all-time highs for Vechain in a short period of time, ladies and gents. Can you see this? You're going to probably do something like this, in my opinion. So we're exceptionally excited for what's to come. This is going to be part of your third wave within your kind of smaller macro Elliott wave theory playing out inside of your fifth wave. Things are looking good, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we've updated you. Please go and watch the other videos on Bitcoin. Even in the short term, we're bullish for Bitcoin. I believe this is a bit of a cup and handle structure that you're going to break to, potentially forming a bit of a bull pennant or a bull flag right now. Things look fantastic. Vechain is somewhat of a similar thing. A bit of a weird cup and handle though. Or potentially not, actually, guys. I don't know why those keep popping up. You'll see continuation. Things are looking good. Now let's move on. This is a tweet that I really like. It was by Crypto Steve. It popped up on my feed. Vechain is working with governments, with PWCs, DNV, Salesforces, ELLIOT, Walmart, BMW, H&M, etc. They have arguably the greatest enterprise adoption of any protocol, and not sometime in the future, now. How is VET the 30th on CoinMarketCap? This just makes no sense to me. It should be a top 10. I happen to agree with him on that. I'm not going to do it on this video. I don't want to throw dirt on anybody. But there are a number of cryptocurrencies above Vechain that have nowhere near the adoption, are nowhere near as useful, etc, etc. Meanwhile, Vechain is down here. Now, it does, of course, have quite a bit to do with the fact that they're not on Coinbase, they're not on Kraken, I don't believe, or Gemini. It's one of the two. Let's take a look. Yeah, they're not on Kraken or Gemini. They're not on quite a few major exchanges. One of the best places to buy Vechain, by the way, is Binance. It's one of the kind of most well-known exchanges. I do like KuCoin, I'm not going to lie, and I quite like Huobi, but KuCoin I edge more towards. You really want to get them off and start staking them for VETHO. That's what I do with all my Vechain, but that's for another video. But this tweet really sums Vechain and where it is in terms of a market quite nicely. And people say, oh, well, it's because it's a supply chain industry. Blockchain and that market cap as a whole of the amount of money that's in supply chains is very small. It's not really applicable. If you look at stocks, like Tesla is a beautiful example. I mean, they were relatively unprofitable for a long period of time. Meanwhile, the stock price was very high. It's really still a speculative game. Cryptocurrency is no different. And you'll get whatever their earnings are, whatever their market cap that they're trying to achieve is, the actual price will be amplified in much the same way as stocks are. I believe that's what's going to happen. And a comment that I had the other day, which is a fair comment, by the way, guys, I absolutely applaud and encourage adversary views. If we all agreed, the world would be a very boring place. So I want people to come on here and have adverse views, disagree with me, and then we can maybe, I'm looking to do live streams at some point so we can actually do a bit of a Q&A where we can hash out some of the debates that I believe many of you would like to have in regards to Vechain going to $1, etc, etc. We've shown you that Elliott wave theory is present. You also have Fibonacci levels that take you up to above $1. Essentially, this is what we're looking at. Your third wave is your biggest wave in Elliott wave theory. Your first wave is typically the smallest one. So just to be pessimistic, if we take our first wave, which was 1,539%, and we add that on today, you're already at 80 cents, ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom. That's if your fifth wave is the same size as your first wave. I believe it's going to do very well as being part of the crypto market, this bull market, this blow off top that we're all talking about. Ultimately, I believe it's going to be bigger than the first wave, and you are going to see that $1 plus price for VeChain. You've also got fib levels on there. We've done a big, longer video on it that's well worth a watch if you're confused with why we got that price. This is the last thing that I want to touch on. We see China coming out and banning cryptocurrency-related activity. Meanwhile, you have Chinese officials, government officials, going to the VeChain headquarters and asking them how they can service them, how they can be of service to the Chinese government. I'll read the tweet. In keeping with China's 30th five-year plan, adoption of blockchain technology is considered a national priority. In May, Shanghai, CHAINLINK, and Hungpu district government reps came to our offices to discuss VeChain's blockchain-based services. And here you have a picture of that taking place. So whilst the Chinese government are essentially out waging war on any kind of a decentralized cryptocurrency, they're of course working on their digital centralized yuan, and of course looking for solutions in other fields, and they're going to VeChain to help them do this. This is exceptionally bullish for VeChain. They really have it. We've spoken about the huge market advantage that they have over in China. They're already partnered with, I think, the biggest Chinese pet food distributor. This is a blockchain that I really like, and I agree with the guy's name's Crypto Steve. I should probably give him a follow. I'll certainly like the tweet, which I haven't done yet, which is bad. Essentially saying, I don't understand this. Well, the main reason is just because they're not on as many as exchanges. This is all still to come. This is an undervalued crypto that I believe is going to do very well. That's not financial advice. That's something that I tell myself and I go by, and it's my opinion. And there's also another. China's adoption of blockchain technology continues in earnest. State-backed Xinhua News, the largest and most influential media organization in China, featured VeChain's VTrust on their official website, quickly gaining over 1 million reads. We know that they're partnered with the Chinese government with the VTrust to help in the kind of medical field, which is really where I believe VeChain can make a huge difference. I can't tell you, as I have a medical background, my background isn't in trading or investing, it is now, but prior to that I was in the medical field. I know just how much need there is for record keeping, for stuff like that, and something like a blockchain would be beautiful at doing that, an immutable system that can't be tampered with. That is really all I have for you. We took a look at the charts. Things look good to me, ladies and gentlemen. Things look good to for the cryptocurrency market as a whole. Please go and watch my other videos. Bitcoin and altcoins are going to explode. That's a great one, very underrated. We give you some exceptionally bullish signals, and we're talking about what's to come for the future and the kind of structure that we believe we're in. That is largely all I have. If you're not following me on Twitter, guys, head over to @RealAllInCrypto. Hit the subscribe button. If you've enjoyed the content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment. Even the adversary ones, the ones disagreeing with me, we encourage it all the same. It would be a dictatorship if we just listen to our own reasoning and nobody else's. I'm all for information, whether I choose that information to be valid or not and incorporate it into my investment strategy. Trading strategy is another thing. That's my decision the same way that that's yours, and you need to own your own outcomes. That is all I have for you guys. Have a fantastic Sunday, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the next YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Huddle those VeChain.